Oh boy, that was not the result I was expecting. Not at all. I honestly thought AJ was going to win, but I was completely wrong. But that's boxing, and that's why I love it. So unpredictable.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Everyone has their different perspectives on the AJ versus Triple D fight. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's boxing. You want different points of views. You want different opinions. I just take longer to deliver my opinion because I've got work and other things to do. And unfortunately, I don't get paid by YouTube. This is just a hobby. Anyway, I've had a good think about it. I've analyzed the fight many times, seen other people's opinions, and now I have formed an opinion of my own. And I think it's a good one. You can tell me if it is. Let's dive in. Okay, let's talk about the fight first before I dive in to my thoughts on where AJ should go next and what options he actually has and what option I think he should take. From round one, it was not looking good for AJ at all, especially by the end of the round when he received that knockdown. He was on shaky grounds after that. That was the turning point in the fight, and it was all downhill after that. Even after that knockdown, I thought, well, he still has a chance. He's not doing too well. He can cover up, work on his defense, because his defense was horrible. He was getting caught with jabs at will from Triple D, and it just got worse and worse. And my thought was, yep, you know what, maybe he can work on his defense, cover up a bit more, maybe Triple D will throw some big shots and AJ will be able to catch them and cover up, and Triple D could possibly tire himself out by the middle to late rounds, and AJ could make a resurgence in the later rounds. Take Triple D into deep waters and go to work on him when Triple D is tired. But by round 2, I realized AJ was already drowning. But no, that was not the tactic at all. He kept with his tactic of keeping his hands down to try and counter Triple D, giving up his defense for the offense of counter shots. And it wasn't really working that well for him anyway. So if something's not working well for you, you change your tactics, you do something different. And him giving up his defense to try and implement his counter punches was just not working. He landed very few of them, so there was no reason to continue to give up your defense in order to try and counter with your offense. And how often he was getting caught with shots, getting caught with jab, getting caught with overhand right. I mean, Triple D was landing those jabs at will, and they were some stiff, hard jabs, and they were taking effect on AJ. But the funny thing is that he didn't need to even give up his defense. You can still see the counter and go for the counter shot while still maintaining your defense. I don't know what the hell was going on in his training camp and what their tactics were, but it was not a good game plan at all. And maybe this is something that's been going on for a while, but we just haven't been able, or I just haven't been able to see the lack of defense because he's been fighting lesser fighters and being able to beat them lesser fighters, so he looks better than what he actually is. Towards the end of round 5, there was a glimmer of hope for AJ when he caught Triple D with a right hand, and he started coming forward and he started trying to press him, and then he did the one thing that I hate. He threw a lead uppercut. This is a risky move. It very rarely pays off unless you're a very classy fighter, but if you're going to do it with your hands up, unlike AJ did. And Triple D comes out with an overhand right that he had been throwing all night, and AJ with that low left hand just copped it straight across the chin. It wasn't a massive shot, but it was an accurate one. Right across the jawline, on the button, lights out, that's it, night's over. And that was the end of the fight. There was no way he was getting up after that shot. It was a great performance by Triple D, who did well to continue to put the pressure on, but it was also a horrible performance from AJ, who just did not have good defense. Very poor defense. As a heavyweight, if you're not going to be moving your head around, or a fighter in general, if you're not going to be moving your head around, keep your hands up. If you're not going to be moving around the ring and defensively getting out of the way of shots from moving, then keep your guard up, especially if you're a heavyweight, because you're a big target. You're easy to hit. Now, after being dominated by Triple D, AJ has to go back to the drawing board and reconsider his plans and figure out where he goes from here. And there are a few options he needs to consider moving forward after this loss. And I think there are only three options for AJ after this fight. And I'm going to break them down for you. Option 1. This fight has a rematch clause. So option 1 would be to just take the immediate rematch clause and try it all over again. This time with better defense. And who knows, maybe this time use your defense to take Triple D into deeper waters and then get him towards the later rounds. But that is a bit of work as well, and that is a big risk. Option 2. Choose another fighter who isn't Triple D, who isn't at the same level as Triple D, a lower level fighter, and slowly rebuild yourself back up to that higher level fighter such as Triple D. But you may need a few fights to gain that confidence up and to get a few more wins, and actually pay attention to each fight regardless of whether you win or lose, especially if you win. Look at all your flaws and focus on your flaws, because this is probably how he got here in the first place. He's been winning but not analyzing his fights and actually looking at his mistakes and realizing that, wait, my defense can improve. Maybe I should improve my defense, especially if I'm going to be fighting fighters that are at a better level than the fighters I've been fighting, especially an MMA fighter. And option 3, call it quits. Drive off into the sunset, retire, and just be happy with the career you've had and what you've achieved, because he has achieved a fair bit. He was the unified champion. He has had some good fights and entertaining fights, and he has been a 2-time world champion. So he's got to at least be happy with that, retire, and enjoy your time outside of boxing. Well, outside of not fighting anyway. The option I would suggest he takes, I think he should just retire. In all honesty, the performance he had, it was not impressive at all. It seems like he's gone backwards completely since the Usyk fights. The 2 Usyk fights, he fought pretty well. I mean, Usyk, he ended up becoming the undisputed champion. He ended up beating Tyson Fury. He's still undefeated. So he can't be too disappointed by being beaten by Usyk. But since those fights, his defense has just broken down completely, and it's gone the other way. It's like he's stopped working on his defense and started just trying to work more on his offense, more on his counter shots, and giving up his defense to do so, which is not the right option. But if he doesn't take option 3 and retire, maybe option 1 and have the immediate rematch isn't a bad one. I mean, you've been beaten. What's the worst that can happen? You get beaten again, and then, hey, he's talking about rolling the dice. Well, roll the dice, see what happens, see if you can work on your defense, actually study where you went wrong, try again, and then, if it doesn't work out, then maybe hang up the gloves. But there is a bonus option that I would suggest. There's a fight that a lot of people had wanted to see for a long time, but never happened. Yes, AJ versus Deontay Wilder. Pull Deontay Wilder out of retirement and fight him in a big, huge fight of the heavyweights that are no longer in their prime. Yes, it's a dangerous fight, but it will be entertaining. But other than that, like I said, I think you should just hang up the gloves, retire, drive off into the sunset, call it a day, and appreciate what you've done in the sport. As always, what's your thoughts? Tell me your thoughts below. Catch my live stream every Wednesday for Australia and every Tuesday for the USA, where I'm going to talk just about everything that's going on in boxing. Probably won't be that long, but I want to do it every week. So try and catch me there if you can. Anyway, that's all I got. Until next time, peace out.
Myths in boxing, highlight real scene, front row seats to the blow by blow scene.